What inspired me to be a stand-up comic was I got my first laugh when I was learning to read, and I would write letters on a paper and then I would give it to my mom and be like, hey, what does that mean? And one of them was a curse word, and she started laughing, and I just figured out that I could get a laugh from something like that. So I guess just making people laugh, and I just like that feeling from the first time. When I was young, the comedians that inspired me were probably like a Mitch Hedberg or something. He's a little more out there as far as comedy is concerned, but that's kind of my style as well. Or somebody like a Chris Rock or Richard Pryor, George Carlin. You know, those guys, you know, everybody likes those guys, and that, you know, for a good reason. They're just good comics. The comics of today that I enjoy are probably like maybe a Joe DeRosa or Kyle Kinane. They're kind of a younger generation. It's kind of a new style compared to, you know, the comics that I grew up with. So it's kind of cutting edge, and they're kind of making their own path in comedy. And some of the people that have like podcasts are, you know, Mark Maron or Chris Hardwick. So they're doing things their own. So it's kind of a do-it-yourself. You're taking control of your career instead of waiting for somebody to come and, you know, pick you up and take you to Hollywood. My style is self-deprecating, but it's also silly, and I don't tackle any big issues, but it's kind of mundane things that I think are stupid, and I'll talk about that, and then I go back and get silly. So it always comes back to silly, and you know, I just want to be funny. That's first and foremost. So if it's funny, then I guess that's what I do. What you can expect on stage is probably some light and sound cues, and you know, some dancers will come, maybe just jokes. I'll just do jokes tonight, but other than that, I just do jokes, and hopefully it goes well. Hi, my name's Brent Terhune, and you're about to watch me on your TV. I guess you're watching me now, but you're watching Who's Laughing Now.
Next comic coming to the stage, a writer for the Bob and Tom Show, Brent Terhune. Yeah.
Hey, you guys, thank you for coming out. Let me start off by saying I'm happy to be here. I was doing a show a few weeks ago, and I get to this place right before I get to the door. Girl comes up to me, hands me a flyer for a dance party. I don't dance. I'm like, you go ahead and keep the flyer because I don't dance. She's like, well, come have a good time, shake what your mama gave you. I was like, I don't know, I'm supposed to shake scoliosis and low self-esteem, but I'll try. It's good to be here, you guys. I'm a comic. I love being a comic. You know, you get to meet cool people, do cool things. I've made tens of dollars. Doing comedy. I'm poor because I am a comic. I had to buy a pair of shoes from a drug dealer. But I think he laced them with something because I have been tripping all day long, you guys. So, some of you guys better get on board now because these are the jokes I do. So I'll change it for you guys. Recently I get a new car, you know, new to me. I go to the dealership. I'm like, hey, I just need something that gets good gas mileage. That guy got excited. He's like, oh, we got a Prius over there. And I'm like, I'm a man. So no, right? He was like, well, it gets 50 miles to the gallon. I'm like, well, not much of a man. We'll check it out, right? So I own a Prius, you guys. That's true. Yeah. And it's not manly. I already know. You don't have to tell me, you know? It's the only car you could jumpstart off of an iPhone. I know that, right? Somebody pulls up next to me at the stoplight, revs their engine. I can't do that. It's a hybrid, you know? You know that sound your computer makes when it gets really hot and the fan turns on? That's what I got. And it's not I'm not manly, you know? Like, for instance, when my dad and my brother had to work on cars when I was younger, they both held wrenches, and I held the flashlight. Right? And I couldn't even do that right. My dad would get mad, you know. He'd be like, okay, a little to the left, but then kind of like down, but up and to the right a little bit, but then kind of, come on, and he would grab my hand, and he would shine the light on whatever needed to be lit up, and I would get mad because he was mad, so I would just spend the rest of the time finding something reflective to shine back into his eyes. My whole life, he just thought it was stupid, but really I was just getting revenge, you guys. But now my passion, what I live for, it's my thing. I take my Prius to car shows on the weekends, you know, muscle car shows. Yeah. don't know if you've ever been to one of those, but those guys love their cars, you know. They're all lined up, hoods pop. They're like, dude, check it out. That's a 427 big block. It's supercharged at 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, you know. I pulled the Prius up, popped the hood. I'm like, dude, check it out. That's a 9-volt right there. Wow, don't put your tongue on that. That's pretty dangerous, all right? I watch a lot of TV. I don't like a lot of TV. It's like reality TV. I think it's stupid. And if you don't agree, the show I'm about to talk about, you will. It's called Amish Mafia. It just came out recently. Yeah? Really? Amish people have a mafia. Okay. The mafia is supposed to be intimidating. Like, they're not going to put a horse head in your bed. How are they supposed to get home afterwards, you know? Like, what? Like, the only thing they can do is just be like, that's a very nice butter churner you got there, Ezekiel. Be a real shame if something was to happen to it, you know? I stick to the History Channel. They have some good programming, you know? It's a good channel. They have, like, so many historical shows on there, you know? Like, Ice Road Truckers, and Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and Ancient Aliens and Life After Humans and Pawn Stars and Axemen, American Restoration, American Pickers, you know, history stuff, you guys. Yeah. I was watching History Channel. It was my favorite thing I've ever seen on there. It was a special on the toothbrush mustache. I didn't know either, but I was going to watch it, right? Turns out that the toothbrush mustache just means the Hitler mustache, apparently, right? And they said the popularity of the toothbrush mustache was from about 1900 to 1945. You guys know what that word "about" says? It says, we don't really know when it started, but we know exactly when it ended. Because how evil of a dude do you got to be to ruin a mustache for the rest of forever? Like, we all know Hitler was evil, but this is how evil, you know? This year for Halloween, you saw 0 people dressed up as Hitler. But you did see a few people dressed up as the devil. The most evil person ever still gets more fun-sized Snickers than Hitler, you guys. That's what that means. My favorite shows, love them, ghost hunting shows. I know they're stupid, but I know. And they always seem like they sign like a 12-show deal, but they only have like 2 episodes of actual content. You know, they got to make up stuff to fill time. They're walking around, they got their ghost tools. They're walking around, they're like, nah, not really getting anything over here. Oh my God. This wall is super spooky right about here, you guys. But you look closer, it's a stud finder? Like, what? I think there's a ghost every 8 feet in this room, apparently. I don't know. Interesting fact about the stud finder, you guys. I walk down the stud finder aisle at Home Depot, and they all go off. I know it's bad. I know, you know. And I was watching a ghost show recently, and it was like one of those international ones. They were in England, and the guy was like, they were trying to communicate with them. You know, you say something and hope something like says something back. But he was like, I'm trying to see if the ghost will communicate in our language or in its own language back in the 1800s. You know, as if he would be like, is anybody in here? And the ghost would come out and be like, boo, governor! You know, gonna give you a good scare, and I will, you know. And they do what all reality shows do. Something big happens right before the commercial, but they don't show you all of it. So you got to stick around through the commercial. And whatever you stuck around is stupid, right? They come back from the commercial, say the same exact thing as they did before, you know. They're walking around like, rumor is that this is the most haunted hospital in the country. And they say the doctor roams the hallway. Oh my God, what was that? Commercial, right? Come back to it. Rumor is that this is the most haunted hospital in the country. And they say the doctor roams the hallways. Oh my God, what was that? There's always a dude over there. He's like, oh, sorry, I farted, you guys. It's never anything important. Then there's too many ghost shows, I think. You know, there's like Ghost Hunters, there's Paranormal State, there's the original ghost hunting show, Scooby-Doo, which it's my favorite when I was a kid, you know? But as an adult, you have to admit it never really shows what would happen if a group of teenagers were unsupervised in a house, you know? They always split up. Fred's like, Shaggy, Scooby, you go check out the kitchen. Me, Daphne, and Velma go upstairs and search for clues in the master bedroom. Right? Next scene, Shaggy, Scooby sit in the kitchen, plasters falling from the ceiling, chandeliers shaking a little bit, you know. Oink, zoinks, hey, Scoob! There sure's a lot of noise coming from upstairs. Yeah, they're wobbly ruckin'. Thanks, guys. Have a good night. Thank you.